Test, test, test. Test. Testing 1, 2, 3. I think it's just my computer. No, this is my computer. Oh.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I can't believe it's so dark outside at 2:30 in the afternoon, but there it is. Here's our agenda today. We'll have my remarks, which will be a little longer than usual because do I hear groans over there? Oh, well, you're allowed to leave anytime you want to. They'll be a little longer because what I'm going to do is kind of summarize our year's accomplishments. And then, of course, we'll have our remarks from Erica, our CEO. Our spotlight today is on the Flower Committee, and Carrie Lauman and Jeff Graham will present that. We have our usual Monday market report and our treasurer's report and the minutes, and then a special about New Year's Eve and how great that's going to be. And Carly has a couple of burning questions this month. We'll take any other questions that you have or any announcements that you want to make, and then adjourn. Hopefully no more groans before then. Okay, you know that I always like to start off with some jokes. And I was at dinner the other evening, and one of our group gave us some poppers, you know, those English things, those rolls that you open up and there are jokes inside. And I was going to do those today, but I warn you, they were going to be real groaners. But just as I came in here, Dorothy Hopper handed me something that's just too good and too timely not to read to you. So these are some Christmas carols for the psychiatrically challenged. Schizophrenia. Do you hear what I hear? Multiple personality disorder. We three queens disoriented are. Dementia. I think I'll be home for Christmas. Narcissistic. Hark the herald angels sing about me. Manic. Deck the halls and walls and house and lawn and streets and stores and office and town and cars and buses and trucks and trees and fire hydrants and paranoid. Santa Claus is coming to get me. Borderline personality disorder. You better watch out. I'm going to cry. I'm going to pout. Maybe I'll tell you why. And depression. Silent anhedonia. Holy anhedonia. All is flat. All is lonely. Obsessive compulsive disorder, jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock, jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock, it goes on and on. And passive aggressive personality. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me and then took it all away. And personality disorder. Thoughts of roasting on an open fire. Thank Dorothy for those. Okay, the year's accomplishments. You know, I think we are just about the most resilient group that anybody could ever get together. There have been so many changes this past year, and we've adopted or adapted to them really, really well. As usual, we got annual reports from every committee. I have them here. And there's a heck of a lot of them. I counted, and there are more than 55 committees. Wow. No way could I read them all. But I wanted to give you some highlights just so you will appreciate how much we have accomplished, how much we've done, what all of our committees are doing. So, and they're in no particular order. The art studio. Yay. Marianne says yay. Marianne and her committee had sessions on using pressed flowers, collage, the basics of drawing, linocut block printing, acrylic painting, keeping a sketchbook, and much more. And then all of the artists who hang out in the art studio and present, what's the word I'm looking for? Prepare art that they love and that they do so well, had the studio art sale, and it raised $5,792 for the employee gift fund. Sewing room. Believe it or not, the sewing room made 18 quilts, 86 pairs of pajama bottoms, 54 pairs of mittens, 52 hats, 45 scarves, 3 baby receiving blankets, and 4 doggy blankets for the residents of Mary's Place, Plymouth Housing, Wheel, and Evergreen Treatment Services. The Art Committee, the resident and staff art show that, again, Marianne organized. This year it featured fabric arts, and the residents made a group art piece, you may remember, from strips of fabric. It was hanging on the way to the dining room. And we received a gift of 22 contemporary artworks. Art was moved from the West Wing, rehung in the North Tower, and more art was added to the assisted living section of Horizon House to make that very much like the rest of Horizon House. The Horizon House Singers got their new director, Eric Barnes, and the choir grew from 35 to 45 members. You'll remember the spring concert, The Sound of Music, and I think starting tomorrow we'll have holidays around the world. The Veterans Committee, they bought a series of flags for all of the military divisions that are represented by residents here. So U.S., Washington State, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Coast Guard, and U.S. Public Health Service. And I believe that any of you who are having an occasion honoring some individual who served in the armed forces can borrow those and have it be part of your service. Let's talk science. Twice a month, there were either live lectures by scientists who live here at Horizon House or who are members of the University of Washington faculty, and they showed videos, very carefully chosen videos. So some of the topics were vision research, astronomy, the Space Needle, Gothic cathedrals, quantum mechanics, saving Venice, and decoding the Neanderthals. Quite a variety. Talking Public Affairs, that's a new committee just started this year to bring experienced experts to Horizon House. And we had the former ambassador to Switzerland, an environment writer for the Seattle Times, the ranking member of the U.S. House Armed Services Committee, our U.S. Senator, one of our 2 senators, and much more. Our election forums. There were forums for all of the candidates for Seattle positions, King County Executive, and the Seattle School Board. And the committee took to heart the suggestion that we not use quite as much paper as we had been. So instead of putting a notice in every single cubby, there was a pile of the list of candidates. provided for those of you who really wanted one. The woodworking shop. The toy makers created 100 fish cuts to celebrate the return of salmon to a school in West Seattle that has its own fish hatchery, and delivered 3 boxes of sturdy trains, trucks, waddling ducks, and African animals for preschoolers. And they made wooden jigsaw puzzles and did home repairs for those of us who needed something done. I had a little tray that collapsed, a wooden tray, and I asked a neighbor who's a woodworker if he could fix it for me. He did. Wonderful. These are some of the films that I particularly like. You may have other favorites, but these are some of the Friday night films that I enjoyed. Central Station, I loved Baghdad Cafe, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, Merchant of Venice, which I particularly liked because it wasn't produced as a play, it was more like real life. Russian Ark, Tampopo, Wild Strawberries, where the crawdad sings. I'm sure you have other favorites. The Opera Committee is doing more live performances and fewer lectures. So the Bellevue Opera was here, and the Northwest Opera in Schools, etc., which is called Noise. Dr. Theodore Deacon did his usual lectures, this time 4 for the Seattle Opera productions. And there was one more talk in the series about the behind-the-scenes activities that have to take place in order for those operas to be produced. The Photography Committee is seeking a new chair. And the current chair says that it would be possible to take the committee to new heights. We have lots of enthusiastic photographers who need to be contacted and convinced that this is their destiny. So there's a job for all of you. Wednesday Night Live, as I'm sure you all realize, has the best or largest attendance of all the programs that we do here at Horizon House, with about 150 to 180 residents who come out every week just for that program. They got new boom stands and microphones to project out into the Fireside Lounge, and did 46 live programs in all genres. The Environment Committee. This is going to be hard to read because the Environment Committee has so many different sorts of activities. And just to list them, I had to use small print. So there were 11 programs presented on environmental topics. Tom and Helen Spiro produced their new book, Earthwise, and that was featured in one of the programs. The Residents' Council adopted the value of sustainability, as did the Board of Trustees. There's always an article about the ecology in the alert. They encouraged us as individual residents to comment on bills that were in the legislature. They helped the dining room staff learn about compostable containers, and they helped with the new Horizon House car share program. The Garden Committee, instead of ordering hanging baskets from a commercial source, they saved a whole bunch of money by creating them themselves. You remember there were 4 weeks of events in the June in the Gardens, and we had 11 weeks of Sunny Mondays. They thought about the archives and the future, how we will know what went on here in Horizon House, and made a video of the gardens. And then there was a party to say goodbye, and the new gardens on Terry Street, which I think are gorgeous, right outside here. If you haven't had a chance to view them, do walk through there. And the birthday party committee, every single month, there are 45 to 55 guests it's their birthday that month, or they have a guest come with them, and some residents who missed their birthday the previous month asked to come the next month because they just want to be part of that party. And I have to read this to you because I think it really encapsulates what Horizon House is all about. The birthday committee is truly made in heaven and becoming experts at working the room, seeing a need, and stepping forth, making sure everyone needing help has someone at their side while love abounds. Doesn't that sound just like Horizon House? I want to tell you about an event that I went to for new residents. It was a little bit fancy event. It is part of the efforts to keep the depositors who have signed up for apartments in the New West Tower to feel like they are already a part of Horizon House, to learn various things about how we operate, and mostly to have a good time. It really was a party. I asked them, let me put it this way. I sat down at a table with some of the residents, none that I knew, and I asked them, why do they want to move to Horizon House? And these are some of the answers that they gave. They've always known about Horizon House. It has a good reputation throughout Seattle. Parents lived there, were well taken care of, and so now they have a chance to move in and experience it. They already have friends here, or their friends are moving in at the same time as they are. They want to live on First Hill. It's convenient to downtown, and it's a safe area. The library impressed me. At least a few commented about the library, and I know that when I've been asked why I chose Horizon House, among other things, I said I visited some other senior communities, and the library was an afterthought, and here it's a real library. There's so much activity. They love the fact that the residents are the ones who plan and present all the programs. And they wanted to get to know the other new residents who will be living on their floor. They asked, how will all of us be integrated into the many activities and the existing culture? Erica says that future events won't be so large. There will be events for the new residents, for example, all the ones who are on the same floor, or maybe all the ones who are in the same stack, so they can share ideas about how to decorate or just get to know their new neighbors. But how will they be integrated into the existing culture of Horizon House? And we think that's going to be the next challenge for the West Tower Transition Committee that we will be taking up in the new next weeks and months, and maybe for quite a long time until they actually start moving in 2029. So let me tell you about some of the other things that the West Tower Transition Committee has been doing. Parking. Parking is on the minds of all of us. All of the employees have been assigned to park in either the Presbyterian Church lot or the old Convention Center lot. No residents are parking in our garages anymore. No employees, thank you. No employees. In fact, it's been emphasized that the most important condition for parking is that there be enough parking for all residents in the garages. So, with that in mind, valet parking has started in both of the garages for the most efficient use of space. There's been a lot of interest in the Horizon House car share program. I know several of you have signed up already, and we expect some residents will decide to give up their cars in part because of that car share program. Now, all of these steps may allow for some guests of residents to park in the garages, but it may not. We don't know yet. So, until we know, there is a list of parking spaces that are close by that you can share with your guests or presenters or anyone else who wants to know. And let me show you how to find that. If you go to Horizon House Connect, right up at the top, and let me see if I can, well, look at the blue arrow, and it says West Tower Expansion Hub. That's where you can find all of the information about what's going on with the West Tower construction. It will even include information from Lauren about the noise level on any given day. So if you don't remember what Lauren said in that last email that she sent out, go to this West Tower Expansion Hub. That's the place where everything is being collected. So once you click on West Tower Expansion Club, you'll see news and updates, and at the bottom it says parking options near Horizon House. The next page that you reach says parking options near Horizon House, and it says click here. And then there is a list of parking lots and other options near Horizon House. The first one is the Virginia Mason surface lot, which is right across the street at the corner of Terry and University. That is not available during the day on weekdays, but it is available after 4 p.m. all the way till 6 a.m. in the morning, and all hours on weekends. So that should be your first recommendation if it's not a weekday, from before 4. That should be your first recommendation to anybody who's looking for parking here. Unless, of course, they can find parking on the street, which is going to be harder and harder to find. And that information about parking and about contractor hours and about how Horizon House is going to provide air filters and purifiers and air protection is also going to be in the frequently asked questions section of this portal, of this West Tower portal. So you should always be able to find it pretty easily. An update on the POPS tours. POPS, you'll recall, is privately owned public spaces. How many of you went on the tours offered by Barbara McHarg? And what did you think? We heard nothing but rave reviews from those of you who went on those, and she's going to offer more of them in January. Another idea she has, and I hope this works out, is to invite as many of you as would like to go to a light rail station, take it to another station, maybe walk around, maybe have lunch together, and then come back. Just make it kind of a fun event to learn about light rail and how to use it. So watch for announcements. Those will also come from Barbara McHarg. And then we're going to start those Wednesday outings that I think we talked about that Brian Byers is organizing. So they will start the second week in January. He will have all of January's events planned. They will be listed on K4 events, But if you don't know how to use K4, don't worry. You can always go to the front desk or the concierge to sign up for something that you want to take on K4, same as we do with the grocery van trips. And they'll also be advertised in the alert, in the elevators, and all the usual places where we find out about events that are going on. So before we leave, before the end of my talk, I want to talk about the departure of some of the residence council members who have served for 3 years and who must leave whether they want to or not, because we have a constantly rotating group of resident council members, and I want to welcome the new members who are going to be just as terrific on the council. So, the vice president for programs, Ned Lang, has served as the vice president for programs. He's lived at Horizon House for quite a long while, and that has been invaluable to us because he sort of knows what's gone on before, and when we're trying to make decisions about things, he can say, well, yes, this worked very well, that one didn't work so well. But he has made some changes in how we do our programming. He met with all of the committee chairs. You may remember that we used to sign up once a year for whatever committees we wanted. Even if we'd been on that committee for 10 years, we had to sign up again, which was pretty silly. So he met with all of the committees, and everybody agreed. Once you signed up, you're on the committee unless you've told the chair that you're no longer on the committee. And if you want to get on it, you just tell the chair. He produced this really lovely booklet about all of the committees, so you can get the information about it. This will be revised, I'm sure, on a regular basis. He keeps all the records up to date and lets Emily know to update HH Connect, so you can get that information readily available on HH Connect. He makes sure that, you know, all that folder of annual reports I showed you are done. He met with Erica, the executive committee of Residence Council meets with Erica once a month, and he was part of that group because he knew Horizon House so well. He was very good at giving advice to her. And he was on the budget committee, he chaired the finance committee, and he scheduled the spotlights for every month. So we really appreciate everything that Ned has done. Are you here? Ned, would you stand up? He will be succeeded by Bill Augusta, who is already working very closely with Ned to schedule the spotlights and trying to gather ideas for explaining to residents that joining this committee is their destiny. So, Bill, will you stand up? Vice President for Administration. Carly's been with us for only a year, but she has done a tremendous amount of work this year. She has novel ideas, new ways of looking at things when we have a discussion in the Residence Council, and I heard someone say this, that they really look forward to what Carly has to say because it's just a little bit different but makes a lot of sense when she mentions it. She's done the burning questions at the end of each of these meetings, and people enjoy those very much. She's been a member of the Budget and Finance Committee, and this is very important. She has chaired the Archives Committee, which is a big project to try and get all of our archives in order and transferred over to the University of Washington, where they'll be easily available to a larger group of historians, for example. So it's been a big job, and we appreciate it, Carly. And will you stand up? Succeeding her is Mary Koch. Mary, where are you? There she is. And knowing that it's a big job, she just accepted an offer from one of our other resident council members to take over just a little piece of that job. And that's the way we work, trying to help one another. Secretary, Shan Cretin has been our secretary during this past year. She takes amazingly thorough minutes. I don't know if any of you have gone and read them, but she does a better job of expressing what I said than I did in the first place. But Shan is not leaving us. She is going to be succeeded by Marianne Counts. Marianne, stand up. I know Marianne's going to be a good secretary because her report was one of the best we received. Treasurer Karen Smith. Karen, be acknowledged. Now, Karen has had one of the hardest jobs there is on the council. She chaired the budget committee. She approved bills and signed checks. She kept all the financial records. She makes sure that all the city, county, state, and federal government licenses and reports are filed properly, and she reports monthly to all of you at these meetings. She did it for 4 whole years. Oh, only 3, she tells me. Oh, that's right. We can only serve 3-year terms. Thank you for doing that. And Shan is going to succeed her, and as you saw at some of the meetings, she's already been working very closely to Karen to learn the job. The resource person for discussion groups will be has been Sam Sperry, and Sam is over there somewhere. Sam was one of the founders of the Talking Public Affairs Committee this year. He knows all about Seattle and Washington government, and anytime we had a question about how do we do something or other with those government bodies, he had the answer. He contributes a lot to our discussions. Again, he's lived in Seattle forever. And he will continue chairing the Welcoming Committee and the Talking Affairs Committee. And his job is being taken over by Kate Oliver. And again, I know Kate's a good organizer because she's getting more and more members to play bridge here. Not enough, she says, so consider that doing that. And lastly, but definitely not leastly, Jeff Graham has been the resource person for our social events. And that is a long list. Birthday receptions, dances, employee holiday party, Halloween party, and the summer picnic. And he doesn't actually plan the whole thing. What he does, which is a really hard job, is to get others to plan those and carry them out. But there is one event that he does himself and is going to do, and his job is not going to end until the very last day of 2025. He's planning the New Year's Eve party, and he will tell you more about that later. And Pat, wait. Oh, Jeff, stand up, I forgot. Pat Waite will be taking over his job. And Pat, as you know, has organized the fun events. What's the official name? The welcoming committee, but the mixers for the new residents here. She has organized those. She's a wonderful hostess, and I know since she has such good skills at that, she's going to have the same skills for all of our events. So I hope you're looking forward to next year as much as I. That was a long speech. I apologize for taking time away from Erica, but come on up.
Thank you, Ronnie, but this is really your meeting, so I appreciate any amount of time I have to really talk to residents. But let's give Ronnie a hand. I mean, this is like a major corporation's end of the year report. I mean, just the report by numbers, it just shows, it's the data to all of the vibrancy that we feel here and the things that just, really, no pun intended, but keep us alive. It really is all of those things. And, just hearing it and hearing how administrative these things are makes me feel lucky, because I look to many of you as mentors. And so, you really show an organization how to run. So thank you. I don't have a lot today. I mean, we really are at the end of the year. And so Ronnie, I think, summed up, and you could feel there's a lot that happened in 2025. And as she said, there's a lot more that will happen, but I do hope that we all can take a bit of a break and just enjoy the holiday season, all of the holidays that are in this season, and look forward to the new year. So I have just, bright spots just to bring up. Some of them are things but some of them are things you may not know about. But first of all, I want to say thank you. The resident party that you put on for the staff, I don't know, I mean, I've been here, it's my third party, but this year, again, it's just you always continue to elevate it. It was important to us to make sure that we shared with new team members how important it is to come out, and if you have a family, bring them, because we want you to feel connected holistically to Horizon House. And the feedback that we received was so touching. We have some new team members who have little children here, and they brought their spouses. And I heard from 2 spouses that, my goodness, I would love to work here. They enjoyed meeting residents, talking with residents. But I think it was just the fact that the people who live here, who theoretically we are here in service of, we are here because of, want to thank us. That is just huge. So I just want to say thank you for the hard work. All of the details were really appreciated. It made the conversation in a full week of huddles where people were just still talking about it, still finding things to share that were really special. So all of the hard work, it did not go unnoticed, and it is really, really well appreciated by all the team members. So I want to thank you. The gift was so generous. Again, the residents always stand in the gap for Horizon House, but I mean, this year, again, when so many people, they talk to their friends are getting laid off, everything is different. Here are residents who are getting ready to go through tremendous disruption, are being more generous than ever. So our team members, they're going to thank you formally, but I want to say thank you on behalf of the team and the organization as a whole. We are nothing without residents. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to tell you, we have been celebrating this month. Sometimes I feel a smidgen guilty. It feels like, we work and we've worked really hard this year, but my goodness, we have been celebrating this month. And so, we started out, many of you who've been around a long time may remember during the days, I think, of Sarah McVeigh, when our managers were kind of getting together and they had some groups together that really looked at things like values and all of those kind of things. Well, those things kind of fell away by the wayside, especially during COVID, when we were in survival mode. And so we've revitalized a lot of those things. When I got here, I listened to people and I said, what worked well for you? And a lot of our managers said, we just don't have enough time or opportunities to get together. And so we do have some formal meetings for them, but we do try to have some social things as well. And so we have now our second annual White Elephant Gift Exchange. And so we had that last Monday. It was great. We have it as a brunch, and it's just a great opportunity for the leaders, not just our leadership team, but our managers to get together. And then many of you who passed by Anderson Hall last Friday saw that we had our annual staff meal, and we have this meal for every single shift. So grateful that we get to serve a hot meal on plates with linen napkins to everyone just to say thank you. It was nice to have assisted living members who are second shift get off their feet. You could see many were kind of nervous, like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be sitting down. I shouldn't be eating. I shouldn't sit here and eat. But really, it was really meant for them, and their leadership made an opportunity for them to do that. We typically have a core group that stay, clear through third shift to make sure people have a wonderful meal. And it's a nice time to connect with people that you don't always get a chance to see and sit down with. So we had that. We are going to have something specific for our dining team members. We recognize that this isn't a time for them. They didn't come through. They didn't have a chance to sit down. They are working short right now with some people out on leave, some people out on vacation. But we want to thank them because they prepared all the wonderful meals and did all the piles of dishes afterwards. So we're going to have a separate way to say thank them and a separate meal. String-alongs yesterday. The concert was phenomenal. Something about having, it's not karaoke, but having words up on a screen that some you don't know, and singing together. Sing-alongs, they definitely warmed my heart. And I just watched. I watched from the back. I was looking at just people's face, the joy they had when they were singing. And I just think we're in such a privileged place where we have two really large musical groups of residents that perform for the absolute fun of it. So that was great. Thank you for keeping us in the holiday spirit. And then I know we've got the the Horizon House Singers coming up. So I'm just looking forward to all the festivities and hope you have a chance to participate. Wanted to let you know, how many of you, by a show of hands, came to the check presentation that the Community Relations and Diversity Committee had last year, where we had organizations that we supported financially come and talk about what it is that they do and what their mission is. Has anybody in the room attended that? Oh, good. We had a handful. We're going to have that again this year. But that was a wonderful opportunity for us. Part of when we select organizations, we ask, are there opportunities for us to come and volunteer? So that we can really deepen our knowledge of what these organizations do. And so last week, we had a chance, our leadership team had a chance to volunteer with the Low Income Housing Institute, which was one of the groups that we granted dollars to. They have affordable housing, but they also built tiny homes. So our team, went out Thursday afternoon. They have a new site in North Seattle, and they had the tiny homes, 45, a village of 45 set up. They look almost like little sheds, but they're, you can lock them. They're personal, they're private, they're heated, they're air conditioned. And we had a chance to get those tiny homes ready to receive new residents on the 22nd. And so when I came along, I am a person, my background, service is important to me. Serving the greater community is important to me. And because Horizon House does that financially, I want us to really stay connected and be visibly connected to the greater community. And so our leadership team, we do 4 things a year. So every quarter we get together as a team for team bonding. And 2 of those times are to do service in the community. So this was our last service opportunity of 2025. But it was great. I mean, we got done. It was interesting. The teams, they thought we'd be there for like 4 hours. We planned for 4 hours. We were done probably in 2 hours because we just worked. Everybody knew what to do. They gave us like a little list written on a cardboard, and we just got to work. And so it was just a testament to how well we worked together. Different people paired off. I've learned that Beth and Lori are mean on the shop vac. So if anybody ever needs anything vacuumed up, they are the best, and they are, just impeccable. There wasn't a bit of sawdust in any of the homes after that. We did things. We hung curtains, we put up beds, we did all kinds of things. But it was really a great time to connect, especially to those kind of other aspects of housing. We are very fortunate here. We all know how fortunate we are, and it was heartwarming to help people have some transitional housing, as they exit out of homelessness. So wanted to share that. As of today, we have 143 reservation deposits. My sheet says 141 because I did it this morning, and we just got 2 more deposits on the West Tower. So we're at 143. So very exciting. We're still moving forward, even in the midst of December, where a lot of people are not necessarily thinking about a tower 3.5 years from now, but they're still depositing. As Ronnie said, the event we had last week, it was really wonderful, to have that many people in the room who've deposited. My real takeaway. So I have to tell you, in our business, there are all these calculations. And with a project as long as ours, it is very unusual to have a project that really has been announced to the public for 6 years. So from the very first person that came and put down their priority deposit to the time they walk into their new home, it'll be over 6 years. That's a long time for anybody to make a decision and even have money kind of just floating out there. And these people, they really are Horizon House type people because they believed in us way back when it was really still an idea and there were a lot of things that were not certain. And so we had a chance to really celebrate, with this group post-financing. But in that calculation and all the things we have, they always say, a lot of these people are not going to move in. You're going to have to sell these units once or twice or even 3 times over, especially with a project this long. But I have to tell you, I don't believe that we're going to have to sell it so many times. I do think things will happen. Life happens. We know some people will need to move earlier, and I think some people are going to want to move earlier because you all are so awesome and they just can't wait. But, some people have health challenges. There'll be things that happen. But I don't think anybody's going to change their mind for change their mind's sake. Ronnie, I know we talked to these people. They were excited. They just couldn't wait to be here. I think our problems are going to be different with how do we keep them, excited and not, trying to take their deposit from West Tower and move to the Central Tower or North Tower. That I think we're going to have some different problems. And for me, that gives me great comfort in knowing that, yes, we had a lot of people say yes, but they said yes, not yes, kind of, sort of, yes, I think. They said yes, and they really meant it. That was my real takeaway from talking to people and the level of excitement. And I think the more they're on campus spending time with all of you, it is going to solidify the deal and make all of our jobs on the back end much easier, that we don't have to resell units because people have changed their mind and moved to another community. I don't think that'll happen. As you know, the demolition has started. So the West Wing is now in the hands of Anderson Construction, and they are, working their magic. As time goes on and we are able to start to see some things, we'll have more, ceremonial things. I know there is going to be a cam, like a live cam that'll be put up so that you'll be able to watch on whatever device you have, see what's going on in real time. So you'll have the opportunity to do that. Again, we're going to have the groundbreaking on January 26th. We're going to have a lot more information to come right after the holiday, but that is all the planning is in motion right now for the groundbreaking. But save the date. We'll get started early afternoon Monday into the early evening. And just to wrap up, I am going to be taking some time off. I know I've said this before during the holidays. So my last day will be on the 23rd, and then I will return, the Monday after the new year. Just really spend time with family. It's been quite the year. And so I am looking forward to some consecutive days off of just, doing all those things you do when you're at home. So I'm going to be cooking a lot and all of those kind of things. Just a reminder, our next fireside chat is a long time. It feels like a long time from now. It's going to be on the 30th of January because we've already had our December, the first week of December. We had it on December 5th. So again, January 30th, I know we'll have a lot to talk about then. It's a long time between now and then. But if I don't get a chance to see everyone, I just want you to have a wonderful holiday season and do whatever is meaningful to you. And I hope you get a chance to spend time with your friends, your family, whoever you choose, and have time for, just self-reflection on all the wonderful things that Ronnie presented and all the things that this community has accomplished in 2025. Thank you. I'm gonna turn it over now to Carrie and Jeff. Yes. Oh. Is it easier to see it this way, or should we? Yeah. Okay. All right. So be careful. Be careful, everybody who's coming up. We do have, there's a brown and a gray kind of cord cover that you could stumble on. Yeah. Yeah, that looks better. Be careful.
Well, I was told I go first, so I'll go first. I have a little story about the flower committee. When John and I were looking at Horizon House, we walked by the flower room, and the door was open. So I walked in, and there was this person I'm going to talk about in a few minutes standing there, and she says, "Oh yeah, we do the flowers at and we have volunteers." And John was very nice. He said, "Well, Jeff's very good at that." And so the person said, "Well, he'll offer to, and he can sign up in a few years." So I actually did, and it has been a joy. The person I'm talking about is Judy Cline. Judy is not able to come for health reasons today, but she has done this for, I think, 16 or more years. I mean, she is outstanding. I think we need to give her a good applause. She's actually wonderful. She'll take any one of us who says we're kind of interested and just teach us everything. So it's really wonderful. One thing I want to mention too, we're losing our gardens that we sometimes take stuff, but you may see us around snipping things in front of the building on University Street, and on Terry we'll be snipping there. Have a lot of nice things to help us make these lovely bouquets we do. So Carrie's going to talk a little bit more about us. And then that'll be all.
So I'm channeling Judy. This is what she wanted me to say to you today. The Flower Committee started sometime in the 1980s, but it was not like it is today. When the North Tower opened, the Flower Committee expanded to 12 members. Over the years, the number of locations of flower arrangements has grown. Now we provide fresh flower arrangements for 9 locations. Each flower committee member has a 2-week tour of duty twice every 6 months. We work in pairs with a new member working with an experienced one. During their 2 weeks, flower committee members shop for flowers wherever they choose using our budgeted money. They arrange and maintain their flower arrangements. Would the present and past flower committee members who are here please stand up? I first joined the flower committee shortly after I moved into Horizon House. I was reluctant to join, intimidated by the quality of the arrangements I saw here. Judy corralled me and assured me that I would be paired with an experienced member, and told me that it was really a wonderful way to meet people who really appreciate what you are doing. All of that is true. And besides, playing with flowers is fun. At this time, the flower committee could use another 2 members, new members. I will be out in the fireside lounge after our meeting here, and I would be very happy to talk to any of you who are considering joining the flower committee, answer your questions, and please encouraging you to join us. The slides that you're seeing are of flower committee arrangements through the years.
Our next speaker, I believe, is Jennifer.
Thanks, Jeff. Hello, everybody. If you haven't noticed, the Monday market is not open. Seriously, we understand the frustration of those who suffer from retail withdrawal, and we miss you too. Our hope is that mid-January remains the anticipated reopening timeframe. Any updates will be communicated widely. The repairs to the sprinkler system in the Monday Market Apartments is ongoing. The apartment sale that was organized by Louise Alvarez was a great success. Thank you, Louise. A total of $1,334 was collected from purchases and donations of money. Thanks to all of those who took part, the helpers and the shoppers. And thanks to Lowell Kimball for handling the banking aspect. Horizon House residents have the opportunity to participate in the First Hill Association Christmas clothing drive. You will see these small posters around that are at the Monday Market donation bins. And this is an event that will be ongoing until December 31st. And it's to raise things for local donations here on the First Hill. They're asking especially for warm clothing, socks, hats, gloves, and sweaters. There will be a carton in the mailroom as well as the regular bins in which you can place the donations. And again, this will end on December 31st. January is a time for new volunteers to join the teams of workers in the Monday Market. Given our third floor logistics, 6 different sales rooms, we will need more helpers than we had previously. Please contact me or Elizabeth Hoover if you are willing and able to participate. We need you. Thank you. Let's see. Who's next? Oh, Karen, of course. It's always Karen.
Well, I am very grateful for Ronnie's her comments. They really, and it's so true. And when you're treasurer and you watch the money that goes out, there were times where I felt speechless at all the work that was going into our various activities. And for that, I'm very grateful. I'm finishing up my time, and do I hit this here? This?
Yeah, it should do. Yep.
And just so you know, understand my incompetency, it's the top says no 2025, but down, but it really, the whole thing is 2025. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, we have, we lost our source of revenue for the most part when the Monday market shut down. Hopefully it's going to be back in business in the middle of January. We will see how that goes because so many things are out of our control. And believe me, the staff is working very hard to make it help it to get back open. But anyway, so we are ending up at the end of November. We have a almost 19,193 where expenses have exceeded income. And the month of November, our expenses were 10,169, and I'm sure they will be more than that because we have
the Christmas party, we have the New Year's Eve party. We have extra uses for money, and everybody tries to get all their bills in by December 31st. So we will end this year with a deficit. However, Horizon House is going to help us to make up for that deficit, which I'm very grateful for. We're going to get the money right after the first of the year. And we will, we just don't know what's ahead on the income side, but that's where we need everybody to help us in that area, be worker bees and to be consumers. So anyway, so that's kind of where we are ending. I've been on the transition committee, and the effort of the staff to accommodate all our wishes is absolutely overwhelming. And as everybody's saying, we feel very grateful that we live where we are. So thank you all, and for good finance in the future. And the next person is Sean, who will be the treasurer next year.
The minutes for the meeting of November 18th were distributed to the members of the council. And are there any additional corrections or changes to those minutes? So hearing none, the minutes stand as distributed, and they will be posted in the library as well as on HH Connect. So, and now I'm turning it back to Ronnie.
So I couldn't resist. Okay, here we go. And this actually does have relevance to the next presentation. So, what's the difference between a well-dressed man on a bike and a poorly dressed man on a unicycle? Anybody know? Attire. Okay, Jeff.
Well, I wanted to say, as the chair of the resource person for the social events, the most difficult job I had, but actually it's easy here, is getting the chair of those committees. And then you just back off and let them work. And really, that's how we have these wonderful things here. And I decided that I didn't get a chair for the New Year's Eve committee. Said, well, I like to go out with a little bit of a bang, so I think I'll chair it. So that's what we're doing. The event will happen New Year's Eve in this room, and we'll start at about 4:30 with a little pre-dinner party. There will be a little bit to eat, kind of hors d'oeuvre stuff, and you can purchase something to drink if you would like. And we'll have live music. We can dance, we can sing, we can do a lot of things. So it will be lots of fun. And sometimes the dining room says, we want to get you out of there because you need to be in here sitting down and eating. So that'll work out well. And I know it's just a really good, fun time. And if you're not going to dinner, come down and have a good time dancing and enjoying what we're serving. I think that's mainly what it will be. Last year was lots of fun. Oh, and when we talked about attire, sometimes some of us guys get a little bit, we forget that people do like to have us attire a bit, meaning maybe we could wear a jacket or something. I'm not going to wear my kilt this year. I'm going to disappoint you all. So, maybe next year. All right. See you New Year's Eve. And Carly. I'm going to step on it. How's that?
Burning questions. Oh,
No, I just want
oh. Burning questions and answers. Ronnie mentioned that there were two burning questions, and indeed 2 were submitted. However, only 1 has been answered. So coming attractions for January, Mary Koch will present the next one. Question from a resident. I've lived here 18 months with no complaints previously. I returned to the garage at 3:30 p.m. today, and there were no shopping carts of any kind in the University Street garage. Answer. Well, it came in the form of a team effort, as many things here are. It's a collaboration of many people. The first response came from another resident. Why not put a simple sign on each cart? It would say something like, please return cart to where you found it or to one of these locations, and show some kind of diagram. Next, Brian Byers replied, we try our best to have our carts returned from where they were used. This time of year, we see them spread around campus more than in other times, so we try our best to corral the carts back to the garage. Then Amanda Rubel chimed in. In fact, one of our burning questions is, where did all the carts go? The reception team label maker has also walked off. Finally, Aiden at the front desk said, I should be receiving my new label maker today. Once it arrives, I'll update the cart labels as follows. Black carts, please return to reception. Red carts, please return to University Garage. So residents, please return your carts as soon as possible so all others can use them. Thank you.
So, do we have any other questions besides those burning questions? Yes.
Is there any thought about having a monetary collection or clothing collection for the people who have been flooded out or have lost their everything in our state?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer. Does anybody know of any organized effort here on First Hill or within Horizon House to help those whose homes have been flooded out? Yes, Joan.
Besides the missing carts, where the heck are the vans, the emergency thing attached to the watch that goes in the swimming pool? A while back, we started out with 5. I do not like to swim by myself in the pool without having one of those watches on, and we are back to 0.
I think I can answer that question. It turns out that these gadgets for our safety will not work or may not work if they are completely immersed in water. Well, Yes, Joan is saying, well, hold it up. And those were our previous instructions. But Andrew and others have determined that once they are totally immersed, they may not actually work, which is why we have them on the pillars all around the swimming pool. So if you are in trouble, get to one of those and press it. That's what we have to do now because, and we haven't been able to find any others that are compatible with our alarm system that will survive immersion in water. Anna?
I'm interested in if the budget for 2026 is completed and when the committees will find out what they've been budgeted.
Yes, we have completed the budget process, and you should be getting that notice from your resource person soon.
Well, but my resource person is leaving.
Shan?
I will attach the approved budgets to the minutes that were from the previous meeting where we approved that budget. So they will be in the library by the end of the day today.
But we also want to get them to you individually so that you don't have to make a trip to the library to look it up. So I will send an email to all of our resource persons to get those to you. But I do want to go back to the question of how we can help people who have been flooded out. Does anybody have any more information about that? Yes.
Actually, probably the quickest way for us to do something, if you go to American Red Cross Washington, it will take you immediately to the page that allows you to donate for flood victims in the state of Washington.
Thank you very much, Pam. Yes, Jeannie.
When we have guest speakers, we give them a voucher to cover their parking. What happens now when they use these other lots?
That is on the agenda for the next Residents' Council meeting. We talked about it last planning meeting, and there are all sorts of views, whether to pay exactly what they paid or to have some kind of flat rate that we reimburse them for or nothing at all. And Shan and Cammie Elbow are getting together to make a recommendation to the full Residents' Council. So we'll have an answer for you as soon as the Residents' Council meets the second Tuesday in January. Anything else? Well, I want to tell the person who moaned that we are 15 minutes ahead of schedule.